Most investors misunderstand how recessions begin. It isn't the initial warning that signals the true danger. It's the moment just after, when most people look away, that the underlying economic sequence actually begins. While the consensus focuses on signs of a soft landing, the probabilities from top analysts are quietly shifting. Just this week, Goldman Sachs raised its official recession probability to 30%, up from 25%. Meanwhile, Moody's Analytics has placed its recession model at a stark 49% probability as of March 18th. While headlines are still debating inflation, the real story has shifted to a much more potent force: potential demand destruction. A data-driven sequence with a powerful track record has just been triggered, and it suggests a fundamental repricing of the American economy could be on the horizon for 2026. If you turn on financial news today, in March of 2026, you're going to hear a story of resilience. You'll hear that the Congressional Budget Office, CBO, expects economic growth to strengthen, with projections for real GDP hitting 2.2% this year. The Federal Reserve has echoed similar optimism, raising its own 2026 GDP forecast to 2.4%. They will point to an unemployment rate that remains relatively low by historical crisis standards. The dominant narrative is that of a soft landing, the idea that the Fed has successfully tamed inflation without sending the economy into a tailspin. It's a comforting story. It's the story that keeps markets calm and keeps the consensus view optimistic. But that's the official story. The story unfolding underneath the headlines is far more concerning. It's not about inflation. It's about a much more dangerous economic force: demand destruction. So, what is demand destruction? It's not just people choosing to spend a little less. It is a structural shift, not a cyclical slowdown. It's the point where prices for essential goods, and more importantly, the cost of servicing debt, gets so high that a huge number of consumers are forced to stop spending on anything not essential for survival. It's when the cost of groceries, gas, and the minimum payment on a credit card eats up so much of a household's income that discretionary income is effectively eliminated. At that point, spending on cars, electronics, and travel doesn't just slow down, it can freeze. This isn't a choice, it's simple math. And when that spending freezes, companies see their revenues evaporate. That's when layoffs can begin, not as a trickle, but as a flood. This is the hidden threat. It's the force that can turn the prospect of a soft landing into the risk of a sharp contraction. And the data suggests this process is already underway. The only thing missing was the trigger. Now that trigger may have just been pulled. For the past 2 years, all eyes have been on the inverted yield curve. In simple terms, this is when interest rates on short-term government bonds are higher than on long-term bonds. Normally, it's the opposite. An inversion is the bond market's way of saying it sees economic trouble ahead. The inversion we just lived through was one of the longest in modern history, and it correctly signaled that the Fed's aggressive rate hikes were hitting the brakes on the economy. But here's the part that almost everyone seems to be missing. The inversion itself isn't the final alarm bell. It's the warning shot. The real trigger, the signal that has historically preceded the actual onset of a recession with frightening consistency, is what happens next. It's the steepening of the yield curve. As of March 2026, the long inversion is over. The 10-year Treasury yield is now back above the 2-year yield, and the spread between them is widening. Think of it like this. The inverted yield curve is your doctor telling you that you have dangerously high blood pressure. It's a grave warning. But the steepening of the yield curve, that's the indicator that the condition is becoming acute. It's the signal that the crisis may no longer be a future possibility, it's happening now. This steepening isn't a sign of health. It's a sign that the market is bracing for impact. It happens because bond traders are betting that the economy is about to weaken so much that the Federal Reserve will have no choice but to start cutting interest rates to save it. This expectation of future rate cuts pushes down short-term yields, causing the curve to steepen. This isn't a vote of confidence. It is a clear signal that the market is pricing in significant economic weakness. Don't just take my word for it. Let's look at the history because the pattern is undeniable. If you pull up a chart of the 10-year minus the 2-year Treasury spread and overlay the official U.S. recession periods, a stunning picture emerges. Rewind to the dot-com bust. The yield curve inverted in early 2000, sending the initial warning. But right before the recession officially began in March 2001, the curve began to rapidly uninvert and steepen. The steepening was the final tell as the market sniffed out the coming rate cuts. Now, fast forward to the 2008 financial crisis. The exact same pattern played out. The yield curve inverted in 2006. Throughout 2007, while officials were still talking about contained subprime problems, the curve was aggressively steepening. Why? Because the smart money in the bond market saw the cracks forming. They knew the Fed would soon be forced to slash rates. The recession officially began in December 2007, not deep in the inversion, but right in the middle of that rapid steepening phase. We saw the pattern again in a much faster time frame before the COVID-19 recession in 2020. An inversion in 2019 was followed by a steepening just before the economy shut down. Time and again, the sequence is the same. Inversion is the warning, but the steepening that follows is the immediate precursor to the economic storm. While it's not a perfect predictor, its track record is incredibly strong. Today, in March 2026, we are living through a carbon copy of that same history. The curve inverted, and now it is steepening. The question is, why would this time be any different? If you're getting value from this kind of analysis, take a moment to subscribe and hit the like button. It helps the channel tremendously and ensures you won't miss our future updates as we track this monumental shift in the market. The steepening yield curve is the symptom. The underlying condition is demand destruction. We need to look at what's causing the fire itself. The main concern is the American consumer, who is, to put it bluntly, tapped out. For the past several years, households have managed to keep spending by taking on record levels of debt. But that survival mechanism may have reached its limit. As of the end of 2025, total U.S. credit card debt has soared to a record-breaking $1.28 trillion. The average balance for an individual is now over $6,700. Worse, this debt is being carried at punishingly high interest rates. Meanwhile, the personal savings rate has been trending well below its long-term average, meaning the cushion is gone for many. To make matters worse, 29% of Americans now carry over $10,000 in credit card debt. That figure is up from just 23% in 2025, the largest single-year jump ever recorded. This vulnerability is being compounded by new structural costs being added to the economy. For example, the U.S. effective tariff rate has climbed to 9.9%, up from just 2.5% pre-2025. This has added an estimated $194.8 billion in costs in 2026 that are ultimately passed down to businesses and consumers. This creates a vicious feedback loop. Any new price shock hits a consumer who has zero capacity to absorb it. That consumer stops spending. Businesses that rely on that spending see sales plummet. And then comes the final outcome, job losses. We're already seeing forecasts for the unemployment rate to climb toward 4.5%. This is what could create a stagflation trap for the Federal Reserve. Inflation, as measured by the PCE price index, is expected to remain stubbornly high, with the Fed itself forecasting it at 2.7% this year, well above its 2% target. The Fed is now in a difficult position. If they cut interest rates to fight a slowdown in rising unemployment, they risk inflation flaring up again. But if they keep rates high to fight that sticky inflation, they could accelerate the demand destruction wave and risk a much deeper recession. There is no simple policy solution. So how can you see this coming for yourself before it hits the headlines? Don't just watch the stock market. It's often a lagging indicator. Instead, watch these three things. They are the canaries in the coal mine. First, watch the delinquency rates on consumer loans. The Federal Reserve and major banks publish reports on credit card and auto loan delinquencies. When the percentage of loans that are 90 days past due starts to climb, it's a direct indicator of rising consumer stress. Second, watch the monthly unemployment claims. Don't just focus on the headline unemployment rate. Look at the weekly numbers for new jobless claims. When you see a sustained rise, it's the first sign that layoffs have begun in earnest. Third, and most importantly, watch the earnings reports and forward guidance from consumer discretionary companies. These are the businesses that sell non-essential goods. Think major retailers, restaurant chains, and travel companies. When their CEOs stop talking about growth and start talking about challenging consumer environments, and cost-cutting, listen closely. That is corporate code for demand has materially weakened. The most powerful warning signs of a 2026 recession aren't in the headline numbers Wall Street wants you to watch. The real signal is in the undeniable pattern of the steepening yield curve, an indicator with a decades-long history of predicting downturns. The fuel for this potential recession is the crushing weight of record-breaking consumer debt, creating a perfect storm for demand destruction. And the accelerant is a Federal Reserve that may find itself in a policy trap, unable to act without making one part of the problem, either stagnation or inflation, worse. The official story points to a soft landing, but the historical sequence of a steepening yield curve, fueled by unprecedented consumer debt, is signaling a period of significant economic risk is already here. If you want to keep track of these data points as they develop, subscribe for more analysis.